What's going on, guys? It's been a little while and I want to start off this video by telling you a story inspired by a book I recently read called The One Thing that's going to really help your business, whether or not you're just starting or whether or not you're trying to scale up right now. And what this is it's called the domino effect. And I know you've probably heard about this before, but I want you to take a moment, really pay attention to the example I'm about to give you, and I'm going to show you after how you can apply this to your business. What most people don't know about dominoes is that when you knock over a set of dominoes, when you see it normally, every domino is the same height, and this is not that exciting. The interesting thing that most people don't know about dominoes is that each domino has the power to knock down another domino that is 50% larger than itself. And the effects of this become very, very extreme when you line up a large amount of dominoes. For example, if you start with a domino that's 5 centimeters in height, it can knock over a domino 50% larger than itself. By the 13th domino, you're at about a size of 1 meter. So in this row, by the 13th one, the domino is going to be a meter. By the 29th domino, it would be as high as the Empire State Building. And by the 50th domino, it would be able to span the distance from the Earth to the Moon. Now, this is an example of a geometric progression, whereas each step in that process grows based on a percentage of the step before it, as opposed to a linear progression. And the reason why this is really important is that when you're building a business, you are following a geometric progression, and it's exponential in nature. And when you're at a job, you're generally following a linear progression. And what the book, The One Thing, says is that basically, you can look at each domino as the one most important thing you should be doing right now to move yourself towards your end goal. So if you're in the beginning stages of your business, this one thing is probably going to be sales, prospecting, and getting your first clients. If you haven't yet started the business, your one thing might be sitting down, coming up with a minimal viable product. If you're a couple years into your business, your one thing might be creating a system that allows you to hire a team and scale. And what the book says is that if you don't know what your one thing is, your one thing is to find the one thing. I know that's a bit meta, but think about it. If you don't know what your one thing is, the only thing you should be doing is figuring out what that next step has to be and then doing it. Now, the next question you might ask is, how do you figure this out? Well, you figure it out by reading books, by watching entrepreneurship videos like this, but the best way to figure it out is to talk to people who have achieved what you have already achieved. The next thing the book goes on to tell you, which I think is extremely important, is how you must schedule your day. Your one thing is going to be the catalyst that moves your business forward. And if you want to move your business forward as quickly as possible and have your business follow that progression, just like that chain of dominoes where it starts from 5 centimeters and ends with the Empire State Building, you have to devote approximately 50% of your workday to focusing on that one thing. What the book recommends is 4 hours every morning doing that. Now, what most people do is they spend the vast majority of their day doing urgent things that are not actually that important. They're checking emails, they're getting buried in project management, they're trying to, build the perfect website, build the perfect business card, doing all these things that don't actually matter that much. And then they maybe spend 15 to 30 minutes doing that one thing. So wherever you are in your stage of business, and I've noticed this has helped tremendously with my business as well, is you have to block in time each day to do that one thing that's going to actually move your business forward. And I see this time and time again when a small business is struggling in that small business stage, making only a couple $1,000s a month for years and years on end. It's because the operator of that business hasn't properly scheduled the time in to focus in on that one thing and really conquer it. So another thing I want you to think about is when you really internalize this idea of the one thing and the geometric progression of entrepreneurship and of running a business, it prevents you from getting discouraged in the beginning. Because remember with the dominoes, even on domino number 13, we were only at a domino 1 meter in height. And yet when we got to Domino 29, we're at the Empire State Building. So the first 13, which is almost 50% of the way to the 29th, is going to be very slow, and it could even be unnoticeable progress. But it's important that you stick to it, because the only way to hit that very noticeable exponential growth is by getting through that first very slow part. And it's difficult if you come from being employed by someone else, because in the employment world, your progress at the beginning is steady, and it's the same progress you're going to have all the way through. So in the beginning, you're going to make slower progress running a business as you would working out in the employment world. But the reason why we're all doing this, the reason why we're entrepreneurs, the reason why we're watching videos like this and improving ourselves so that we can run businesses, is because we want to reap the rewards in that second half of the geometric progression, when things just scale up extremely fast, and that's when your business gets super, super exciting. So if you haven't read the book, The One Thing, I suggest you do. I've just given you, one of the many topics they cover in that book. It's one of the better books I've read this month. I'd highly recommend it. And if you just want to take one piece of actionable advice from this video, is sit down today with your calendar, and tomorrow, the next day, next week, block out a specific time to do the one thing that's going to move your business forward. And if you don't know what that one thing is, block out time to discover what it is. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like videos like this, please like, comment, subscribe. It really encourages me to put out more content like this. Until next time, I'll see you later.